Lacka. Okay.
I've
Now.
just been doodling while you guys have been talking.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm sorry. I always tell you guys, I'm like, all right, let's start at this time.
Oh my god! You did the sick ass.
Oh, she did the middle school ass? The
Nice.
boss
Hell
middle
yeah.
school ass? Hell yeah.
It's like the only thing that everyone universally knows how to do.
Right. Those things are all over my maths books.
I actually did my maths work because I was a maths nerd.
I didn't do shit because I sucked at math.
I'm sure you were better than you think.
And I still suck at math. I have to count on my fingers, dude.
Well,
least you can
know,
Yeah. Till I run out of fingers.
listen, I think we all use our fingers. Let's be honest. One of the reason God gave them to us to count.
Yep, that's the reason.
The one thing I do know how to
Said-
do on my
said
fingers
one
is
of.
the 9 times tables.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
legit.
So if you... Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you know
that's
you know the
cool.
trick, yeah?
You're talking about the 9 times table thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you put the
That's
9th
cool.
finger down and... yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you want to know what 3 times 9 is? We put your third
Yeah.
finger down, there's 2 and 7. 27.
I always.
I just knew my
that.
9 times table, and then after I
just
already
fucking
knew
dumb.
them for years, someone showed me that. I was like, okay, just learn your 9 times table.
That's how
Was
my
it me
dad
that
taught me how
showed
to
you
do it.
that?
No, it was a kid at school, it wasn't
Because
you.
I've always done.
Wow, I just know my 9 times table.
I mean, I mostly do, but it doesn't hurt being able to check when you're old and senile. You know?
True. And then you can also, like, know what months have 31 days in it when you, like, go along your knuckles.
Yep.
I like that one too.
Oh yeah, the Knuckles
I
one.
just do the rhyme in my head every time.
The wait, what's the rhyme? I don't know the rhyme.
The rhyme's crap.
It doesn't even rhyme. It starts off really strong. It's like 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except February alone, and there's a whole speech about February, and it's dumb.
What? There's a whole speech.
No,
What's
yeah,
the-
no one
it's
knows
like
the rest of
another
it. You get to
Oh.
February, and then you just stop saying it.
I think we have to know the speech, otherwise, just you know.
It honestly, it kind of depends who you are and what that is. I don't even fucking remember what it is, honestly.
Okay, it's
'Cause I
30
stopped
days
at
have
February.
September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, excepting February alone. And that has 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year.
It's like it starts
The-
off rhyming, stops, and then throws in a little rhyme.
Yeah,
at the
throws a
end.
bit of a rhyme at the end.
That's
So dumb.
yeah. I was not aware of that.
Pretty
Never
sure
eat
somebody
shredded
else-
wheat.
Yeah.
Man, was British a cookie.
Fucking weird.
Hey, you guys aren't the only ones. We've got some kooky things too.
I see
Yeah, these people eat shredded wheat.
they have, however, completely thrown out the whole I before E.
It's because it's wrong more than it's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it
dumb.
really is.
after C.
And before G.
Wait, that's the thing? That was never taught to me.
No, that was I knew that one.
They dropped that when I was at school.
Wow.
They taught you
Well,
a few exceptions. And it's
um,
like, yeah, but none of them follow this.
I think if you guys are ready, I'm ready to start playing. I think I'm all set finally.
Sure.
Awesome.
I'm definitely gonna disappear to grab the food from the door, but yeah.
Gosh darn it! Just about to start playing, and now you're
It's not my
leaving.
fault. I'll be like a minute going.
All right. So, are you leaving like now, or are you saying like you gotta?
The app says 3 minutes away.
Ah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over as much as I can. Well, how about we at least introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
All right. So, hi there. I am your friendly neighborhood GM, the Prankster, and we're here to play some game called Glow in the Dark, which is a hack, essentially a mod of Blades in the Dark, which is the wonderful TTRPG by the Mr. John Harper. Fantastic. We had a lot of fun last time we played, and we're here to play again. So I'm going to let our other people introduce themselves in order on Roll20. If you look down at the bottom, we'll just go in that order because we all have the same one. So without further ado, I will let the next person introduce themselves, their character. Oh, and the question that you always need to answer is this. If you were trapped in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and you could either have access to food, technology, or water, which would it be and why? An outlaw's already chickening out, so I will answer that question, seeing as how it was mine, and then I'm going to hand it off to you guys. So I'm gonna have to go with water, because you need water to survive, and I figure like you could probably trade that pretty good, because people are going to constantly be coming back for water. So that would be my answer. All right, so Outlaw, are you ready, or is your food here?
She's
Okay.
She'll be a few minutes or a minute,
right.
probably.
So well, then we'll skip on to you then. Fair enough.
Okay. God, the pressure. Jeez, I don't like going first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
Hi.
literally just went first, but
You don't count.
apparently they don't either in the UK. So continue.
No.
Wow. Hi.
So you know
I'm
that my little sister's a little fucking brain box, dude.
I'm Ayanna, and I play Vi, who is a kick-ass pit fighter. She
Truth.
is a little firecracker. Oh, and I would also choose water purely because you would die of dehydration before you die of hunger.
Truth.
And, if you're dead, you can't really use technology.
Good point.
When you're dead, you're dead.
Good,
Yeah.
strong points. All right. Next up.
Oh, is that me?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Miss
I'm
Drawn
not
Lady.
Irish, and I'm playing Bam, who's a weedy little tech guy. He's pretty beat up right now.
Yes, he is.
Aw.
And mine would be it depends on how much you would get. Is it like unlimited supply?
Yeah, like essentially, like you, out of all the resources, that's the one you don't have to worry about because it's pretty it's regularly, like you have a regular access to it.
I would go
Hey, Irish, it's okay. I've got water. We can share.
technology.
God dang it.
'Cause
Sharing.
you could share with people, sure. Also, you could like create some stuff to like
Irish, I swear to God, if you steal my answer, I'm not sharing with you.
you could create some stuff to like what the fuck is that word?
I don't know.
To capture rainwater since it rains so much in the fucking UK.
Oh, cistern?
I've got no idea what I was trying to say. It's a brain fart.
Okay.
Hey, I've got fresh water. I'm not drinking your stinky rainwater.
I know. There's a guy I know in my town. I actually helped him with it. He has a giant, I think like 2,000 gallon rain tank underground. And so anytime it rains, he's got it worked out so that it hits like his roof, and then it all gets funneled towards the tank with kind of a collection system. And the reason he told me he's got that, it was actually pretty smart. He said, we actually don't drink this. He says, this is in the event of a fire because there's no fire hydrants or anything out here. It's like this way, all the fire department has to do is just like stick their hose down and suck it all up, which I thought that's actually really
It's pretty
clever.
dope.
Yeah, right?
That's smart.
Super smart. So yeah. Cool. All right, and last and definitely least.
Wow. That's fair. I'm outlaw. Apparently, Prankster hates me. I'm playing Ash. She's kind of a shady dealer. Definitely a coke addict. And if I could have one of those 3 things in the old post-apocalyptic wasteland vibe we got going on, I also thought technology, as much as unlimited water is probably the smartest choice. With technology comes water and food, and ease of getting more water and food, you know?
You hope.
I hope. I'd rather, have a good shot and die early than be really hydrated but miserable.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll go ahead and just kind of do a recap. Last week, when we played, you guys started off with getting raided by one of the people, one particular group. I'm going to go into your sheet out loud because I always forget their names, so my apologies. It is the Apostles of Rex, who essentially ride these mutated lizards and who worship a giant lizard themselves. They were raiding your settlement and got away with a lot of your supplies and got away with a lot of your people. As a result, you're kind of put into kind of a real rough situation about what next steps you guys are going to take. You got a couple of pieces of intel from people that there was something called, there's some type of farm or food or something like that in the Barrens, which is essentially a mutated plant hellscape, carnivorous. You decide out of all of your options that was the best course of action. And so you made your way there in Bam's Jalopy. Speeding along as fast as you possibly can, you got some pretty good word about one particular area of the Barrens that seems to be less guarded, less infested with this mutated plant life. And so as a result, you decided to go there, making your way in. Speeding along, though, it became painfully aware to you that the walls were closing in, and these mutated plants were burrowing underground, closing off whatever means of access you had. You were able to escape just in the nick of time with a well-placed Molotov cocktail leading the way to what appeared to be an actual barren area within the Barrens. Just black, and by that I mean black, not like the deep dark brown that dirt is, but just black ground, blighted almost, it looks like, and very loose. And as you make your way across that, you realize there's no plant life. It's no longer following you, and you figure out why. There's a giant worm-like creature, a la Tremors and Doom, that seems to be following you and hunting you. Running along as fast as you possibly can, you unfortunately falter at the last second, causing your vehicle to go end over end, damaging it from the hit of the worm hitting the back end, sending you all, giving you some amount of harm, as well as severely damaging your ride. However, you made your way to what appeared to be some type of building, an office building of sorts in the distance that seemed to be in between both the dirt from the worm as well as the mutated plants. There's like a small ring of just kind of sandy earth encircling both. You decide to explore the facility, finding out what the heck is going on. And while you have to break through the plants that are holding the door shut, you go in only to find a strange absence of mutated plants in this facility. Turned out to be some type of farm, some type of underground hydroponics facility that was mass producing various, fruit, vegetables, etc. While most of the floors were no longer working, clearly in disrepair, one of the floors somehow managed to survive. And not just survive, but thrive there seems to be giant tomato plants that are putting out tomatoes, and you guys fill open just your car to the brim with these tomatoes as much as you possibly can. And it's clear that this might be an avenue or a place you could come back to in the future to try and get some more resources. At the very least, though, this seems like a pretty big haul for your people. Not only that, but you found some interesting information while you were there. Going through, it appeared to be an old research and development office and lab. You still have to worry about the worm, though. Luckily, Bam had a small remote control vehicle that he piloted onto the dirt to help distract the worm while you slowly made your way around the edge back towards safety. With Ash wielding a flamethrower to kind of help keep the mutated plants at bay, leaving the Barrens alive. You make your way back, you get your payment, take a moment to rest. However, it's very clear at this point in time that your characters are stressed the F out and incredibly damaged as well. So we're about to enter into what's called downtime for Blades in the Dark and Glow in the Dark, respectively. And so as a result, here is what we're going to do. And I'll go ahead and describe it to you here in short order. During downtime, a couple things happen. You can see it's in the top right corner of the Roll20 that I have there. It's divided into 4 parts. We've got your payoff. We've got your, give me a second here. We've got your payoff, and then after your payoff, we've got your heat. Now, I told you guys that you're not going to accumulate any heat after that mission because it was in the Barren, so it's not like you ran into any people in particular. It was mostly just mutated plants. Doesn't really seem like they're fixing to talk to anybody. Part of downtime, though, is entanglements. This is something that happens during the week or so after your run, either then or while you're gone. Essentially, we roll for it to figure out what happens, because the world is still moving even while you're doing your own thing. Make sense?
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So I would like one of you to roll me just a D6, not much, and we'll to figure out what the what is going on.
Go on, Irish. All right.
Whoever would like to roll it can roll it.
To see who rolls.
Yeah, we could do that.
You can absolutely do that.
Rollies?
Yeah, why don't you all roll a D6 to see who actually rolls the D6?
Fuck.
Looks like Outlaw's gonna roll. Yep, Outlaw, you roll the D6. It's all on you. 5. Okay, cool.
Why can't I roll 6s in the game?
Right? I feel like mine's gonna be shitty as always.
Okay. This actually makes sense. You guys were gone. You know that you were raided recently by the Disciples of Rex. And not to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not to be outdone, the Night Riders, who are kind of the kings of the roads in your area, swooped by your settlement to kind of harass your people. A couple of them got caught up in the traps that you had laid out. But on the whole, they kind of gave your group they're like, you got 1 month to pay your taxes in the roads, or you're dead. You're going to find out what happens when you cross the Night Riders. So one of the people that...
They're assuming we're going to live that long.
Yeah, so one of your citizens of your small town of the Roadrunners essentially communicates this to you when you guys come back. They're both excited to see all the tomatoes, but they also are communicating what they have been told by the Night Riders. Now, you know you already have a -1 with the Night Riders. They are apparently quite active about with what's going on in the world. Kings of the Roads area, which is where you guys live. So, just so you're aware, that has happened, and now that's part of what's everything that's going on. So, now we're going to actually come to the downtime activities. Your characters get 2 actions, essentially, that they can take during downtime. If you go to that chart I have in the top left corner, where it says downtime, you'll see acquire an asset, long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, indulge vice. You guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, those are the 6 about different-ish things that you can do during downtime. Now, indulging in your vice reduces your stress. Training will give you 1 XP towards that specific area on your character sheet. So, for instance, insight, prowess, resolve. Recovering is what you need to do to be able to heal your harms so that you can get your dice and effects back. And acquiring an asset is how you can gain things for your people. So if you actually go on your character sheets, open them up, and go to the tribe tab, which is the button underneath the character sheet. This is how you get tribe upgrades. You can unlock different things. Like perhaps your asset is you're trying to gain a farm. Like you want to take that farm that you guys found and make it something that your people can utilize on the regular, right? Another idea of acquiring an asset would be like, we want to acquire gear, different vehicles or weapons, or people to train us, or a doctor to heal our hurt. That is all under the acquiring an asset thing. Now, there's acquiring a temporary asset, and then there's acquiring, like, you're trying to do this, and that's what acquiring an asset would be, right? Like, you're trying to get this pretty quick. Now, a long-term project would be acquiring an asset permanently, right? You're trying to find a way to make this a regular part of your crew, your group, so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. So, for instance, like a physician, which I don't think your people actually have, which is going to make it difficult for you to recover harm, right? Or a long-term project could be something that you entirely imagine that's not anywhere in any of these mechanics. So, for instance, let me give you an example. Bam. You're like, I want to do a long-term project to upgrade my jalopy into a monster truck. Awesome. Okay. That is something you could absolutely do. It's going to take multiple steps, which is where we get into our next really important thing, which I didn't utilize last session. It's called clocks. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean by clocks.
This is where he just puts up a picture of a grandfather clock.
How did you know? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the top left corner. Oh, wow. That S under the prankster. I'm a fan. Okay. So, you see these clocks that I put up here? This is how we measure your progress on longer term things, right? And the regular Blades in the Dark character sheet, there are some actually on your character sheet. Unfortunately, there's not. So we're going to have to utilize this area. So let's start with a four tick clock, because that's going to be the easiest one for you to get to. And we're going to utilize these a lot for finding harm. Let's say you tell me, Prankster, I want to heal my harm. And I will say, sure, that is something you can absolutely do. Let me do all harm is done in 4 tick clocks, which you can see there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what happens is you will roll me a die for the person who's trying to heal you. And it's based on their tier, essentially how good of a doctor they are. Are they just like a regular old person, just trying to give you some first aid? You're going to roll 2, take the lesser result. If you are trying to get somebody who's actually trained, basic training, then, you know, hey, that is going to be all of it's going to be a 4-tier clock. It's just going to determine how many dice they get to roll and how effective they are. Just like any other skill. Make sense? Mm-hmm. And so, a 1 or a 2, a 1, 2, or 3, right? Yeah, a 1, 2, or 3 will increase your clock by 1 tick. A 4 or 5 will increase your clock by 2 ticks. A 6 will increase a clock by 3 ticks. And a critical success, that is 2 6s rolled, will totally clear your clock and actually give you 1 over. So if you're looking to recover, you need to find somebody and they're going to have to roll for you, but the quality matters. Make sense? Now, if you're going to do a longer term project, so let's use the monster truck thing, I might say, okay, Irish, that sounds like lots of fun, but that's pretty ridiculous. So I'm going to start you off with a 12 tick clock. So I'll start it at 0, which you'll see here in a second. And I will say, Irish, you can absolutely, Bam finds a monster truck. Okay, I'm going to label the clock like you see that I just did there. Move it a little bit. Maybe make it a bit bigger for us to find. And then every time she gets a downtime, she can use one of her actions to say, all right, Chris, all right, Prankster, I'm going to go ahead and look for monster truck parts in the roads. Or I'm going to go ahead and look for them in these areas. And based on what you described to me, I will attribute whether or not it's desperate, risky, or controlled, and whether or not it's a lesser effect, standard effect, or great effect. Based on that, I will fill up the clock that much stuff. So if Irish is like, all right, I'm going to go to the Barrens, which, you know, looks to be pretty absent of technology of sorts, like that type of technology, right? I might say, okay, I'm going to give you, this will be lesser effect because this area really isn't known for finding it, and it's pretty desperate. So if I say desperate, that means that the consequences of failing will be great. If I say standard, it means it'll be, or risky, that'll be, regular chance of failure, regular consequences. And if I say controlled, that means that your consequences for failure will be less, right? A good way to put it might be like a level 1, 2, and 3 harm. Failing a desperate roll might incur a level 3 harm. Failing a risky roll might incur a level 2 harm, and failing a control roll might incur a level 1 harm. So just so that you can kind of understand what I'm saying when I'm using those types of ideas. So the acquiring the asset, you can find that in your tribe page. The long-term project is entirely up to you for how you want to do that. Recovering and all of that, you're going to need to find a good physiker. Reducing your heat might be like, all right, paying off cops, telling people to kind of chill out. In the instance of this group, the Night Riders, that's kind of harassing you, might be paying them off a little bit. Right? Training is pretty self-explanatory. And then indulging your vice, which we're going to start there today because Irish, if you recall, took a Devil's Harm that actually clears all of her stress. So go ahead and clear all of your stress, Irish. You automatically overindulge, which means you get back and you are so, like you describe it to us. How does it look you overindulging on your vice when you get back after this last run that you were on?
He probably instantly takes the car into the workshop, gets out, and finds the closest bottle of booze and just downs the entire bottle.
Okay. Awesome. So, when you overindulge, there are things that happen. either you are bragging about it to like other tribes on the wasteland, right? You become lost. You return from your bender like a little bit different. Maybe your current purveyor cuts you off and you have to find a new source for your vice. Or I roll for an additional entanglement. So, based on what you're describing, Irish, what do you think happens to Bam?
God, I have no idea.
Because if you don't, I do.
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to say you attract some trouble. I'm going to say what happens is you take your vehicle out, and not only do you you get it fixed up in the intervening week, you essentially are just like stirring up trouble because of how drunk you are. Because you essentially like go on this bender, right? So I'm going to have you roll me a D6 to determine the entanglement that happens.
Is that everybody? Yeah.
Just you, because you're the one.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're the one going on this bender. So
You're the drunk one.
You're the drunk one. You're being all drunky.
I'm going and wasting your shit.
Oh yeah, I get a fucking 6 on this one. How about you?
Yeah, what a waste.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's because Bam's wasted.
True.
Good one.
Okay, so here's what happens. A faction, and this actually makes sense. Okay, so here's what happens. You get super drunk. You hear about this information that the Night Riders came to you, right? And you're like, while you're kind of like tinkering on your car one day and you're totally wasted, you're like, you know what? F those guys. Screw those guys. I can't believe they did
I feel like
this.
it would have been like a 3 or 4 bender. It wasn't just like one night. It was like nearly a week straight.
Yeah, it's like nearly a week straight. And so like you're on like the 4th day and you are just like, you are kind of seething about all of this. And you're just like, screw these guys. And so you take your jalopy out. You take it to their, you take it to like the entrance of their base, to their kind of like fortress of sorts. And Bam like gets out like in front of him just alone and just like starts flipping them the finger and shouting obscenities and like moons them and is just like generally being incredibly obnoxious about all of it. You go back essentially home and you pass out drunk. And then in time, the Night Riders actually show up to your guys' base, and they show in force. So, you guys have an option. Your current hold on your fortress is strong, or not your fortress, but your hold is strong. You can choose to give up some supplies, or it will go weak. Because
what
you're
does
like
the whole thing mean?
Essentially, it's like, think of it like how strong is your hold on this place, on your people? How are you keeping them together, kind of a thing. So that would be a good way of kind of like thinking about it. And so essentially, if your hold gets below weak, your group is gone. Like you cannot hold off anymore. You guys have your group is no longer cohesing, right? It's no longer cohesive, and everybody just kind of goes their separate ways, and the game is over. So you can give up some.
Short game.
Yeah, you can give up.
End this already? Damn.
You guys are tier 0 with a strong hold, so you can go to weak hold. But that essentially puts you at like 1 for lack of a better way of putting it, like 1 hit point for your tribe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That's the quickest way I could think of, like, communicating it.
How hard are they going to hit us on supplies, though?
They say, so let's role play it out. Let's do this.
Roleplay. Nuts.
Let me go to my dystopian hellscape soundtrack.
Oh my
From,
god, it's Pete.
What?
Apparently, Peter's no longer shrunk and has arrived.
Dawn of Destruction. That sounds appropriate. All right. It's night, and I'm going to say that Ban is sleeping, passed out with a bottle in his hand. Lights come on, flash onto your small settlement of the Roadrunners. You know you have traps up. They know probably that you have some amount of traps and the like up for security. So they know it wouldn't be necessarily easy, but you are outnumbered and they are a much stronger faction. One of them comes over a bullhorn. Your mechanic came over and disrespected our clan. Make amends or suffer. And you can see that they got like
in his sleep.
They got a small fleet of cars, and they're armed with like spikes and people dressed in like wasteland memorabilia, like leather straps everywhere, rusty knives, goggles, mohawks, the whole 9 yards.
No, when you say make amends, what's up? What's going on? What do you want?
Supplies, or we attack.
I mean, it's really straightforward, huh?
We heard about that fresh shipment of tomatoes you got.
I want to throw on it and so bad.
You can.
I want to do that too. That's all I can think about.
Food fight.
It is night. Lights glow up the night. I imagine you're under the overpass. Dirt and dust kick up in the moonlight. What do you do?
You know what? Vi would totally do it.
I was gonna say I 100% would not. Ash, on the other hand, is absolutely being like, oh yeah, do you want to try one and throw it a little too hard at, maybe one of their cars or one of them or something.
Okay, awesome. For fun, why don't you roll me something? So this is going to be, so you're just trying to be obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to say this is a risky roll, and you're not really in a controlled spot here. It's also not desperate, so you're risky. And this will be a roll for standard effect to just hit the tomato in his face. So go ahead and what do you want to roll me to make this action? And if both of you want to throw tomatoes, you absolutely can.
I can't remember what all of the different things do.
I mean,
Do you
we
have that
probably...
screen at all?
Oh yeah.
That like kind of details each skill.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to move us to another page for the rules for scores, because that's where those rules are. You should be able to see in the top right corner.
Now, can I wrangle my way into it being sway and being like manipulative and just a dick? Or
So you're trying to use sway to throw the tomato.
I'm trying to decide if that makes sense.
What are you attempting to do with the tomato?
I mean, she did say that she was going to say, "Oh, do you want to try one?" and then fucking
Yeah.
throw it at him. It's kind
Yeah.
of manipulative.
It's kind of a dick move.
All right. Yeah. I'll say. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me sway. We'll see.
Oh god.
You throw the tomato in a
I got
sexy manner.
I got 2 pips in it, so. Damn.
Okay, so that is a success, but with consequences. So you throw the tomato, and it hits him hits him, and like kind of like blood, or not blood, but like tomato goes. But it's so dark that everyone thinks it's blood and that you just shot him.
Oh no!
Right, just and so he kind of like gets knocked back like he was shot as well, and they're like, "Get down, open fire!" And so before anything else can happen, these people open fire on your settlement.
Wakey, wakey, ma'am.
The guy gets up, like takes the tomato off, like licks it like across the palm. He puts like one hand up to like quiet everybody. He's like, "Stand down!" And he kind of like licks the tomato off of his hands, and he's like, "God dang, that's good."
Pretty good.
And everybody kind of like holds there, and he's like, after like the gunfire kind of like settles down, and he's like, "Give us 2 crates of your tomatoes," which we'll say is like 1 supply for your tribe. And we'll let you out of here. This isn't taxes. This is making up for what that little mechanic guy did to us.
I mean, I'm okay with paying them the tomatoes. I'd rather not, put ourselves in a really bad position.
There may be another option.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Can we try and offer the location? Like, do we want to? Quick,
Although-
contact, guys.
If we send them there and don't tell them about the worm, they might
Exactly.
die. Oh my god, it's genius.
Uh-huh.
Look, are we ever going back there? Probably not. That place sucks.
It does kind of suck. I don't want to go
It
back.
sucks.
Like,
We got all the
let's get
papers
our
to
own
be able to.
farmer.
We got all the
Yeah,
papers.
you
to
know
be able
what?
to build one.
That's super smart. I'm okay with this plan.
Okay, so you want to tell them about the location
Yeah.
of the farm.
Like counter offer.
Yeah,
There's a place you can go to get more than 2
How
crates of
about we
tomatoes.
tell you where we got the tomatoes? And
Okay.
you can get a lot more than 2 crates.
What are you rolling for this?
I'm not, because
How about I tell you where we got these
Arthur?
tomatoes?
Okay, what are you rolling to do that?
As far as I dare, you're fucking doing it.
So I thought Outlaw was because you were the one talking. So I,
I mean,
thought
I
you were.
can, yeah. No, I thought you were making her roll.
Yeah, no.
Can you barter?
I
Can
can.
you kind of barter?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, yeah. People for but with people for resources, info, or access. I feel like, bartering for safety.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I think bartering
It's
is.
an
Admission
mission.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
If we get lucky,
Bam.
maybe we can improve our standing.
Oh!
You rolled a 6.
Yeah!
Okay.
Hell yeah!
The guy kind of like looks down at the ground. He sees like this one tomato, and he's just like, "That was a damn good tomato." And he says, "Let me talk to leadership." And so a couple other guys dressed out like in super post-apocalyptic wear come walking around him, and they're talking for a moment, and he's like, "You got a deal. Give us the coordinates, and we'll let you off the hook. This time." And then they start snapping in unison, like it's
Backing out slowly.
backing up slowly.
Did I
Then
imagine
burst
them
into
like
some kind of
I was
song.
Let's catch you in the parking lot again.
Nice musical number.
it's like a post-apocalyptic Greece.
Yeah, exactly.
That I'd love to see that. So yeah, they
But do we
You-
give them the right coordinates?
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys already told me you were.
Yeah.
yeah.
I am.
So all right. So you give them the right coordinates. They're like, we're gonna get so many damn tomatoes. It's gonna be great. If this goes well, and he points a finger at you, we might finally be able to be friends. If it goes poorly, it's on you. Then he kind of like backs off, but like kind of trips over a rock, pretending to look all tough. And he's like, let's go! Night Riders, out! And then they kind of like, they all start snapping to get to their cars.
You really are the Night Riders.
Man, those
Man.
guys are so cool.
That was so cool, and then I turned it into be something ridiculous.
It was so intimidating until they won.
I know!
I
God!
can just imagine once that's all over and they start driving off, Bam just like kind of walks out the workshop door with the bottle of booze in his hand. What's going on, guys?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna knock the bottle of booze out of your hand and just walk away.
No, I's gonna punch Bam in the face.
Damn.
Absolutely. Go roll me for it. Roll me for it. What are you gonna roll for it?
I'm gonna wreck face.
You're in a pretty controlled position. He's drunk. He just woke up.
Hey,
He's
vibes
probably a
are
bit
high.
bleary-eyed. And I will say this is to are you depends how hard are you trying to hit him? Just enough to teach him a lesson? You actually want to do
Yeah,
damage?
Just enough to teach him a lesson. I
Okay,
mean, Vi's
controlled.
a bit of a hothead, but she's not a complete psycho.
Okay, controlled with limited effect then. Go ahead and roll me wreck or whatever it is that you wanted to roll.
Bam's about to fucking die.
Rolls double sixes. Increased effect.
Nice.
Okay, that's just a fail. So you come out, you get ready to like square up and punch Bam in the face. And so just as you're about to punch,
I got a question. Can
Sure.
Bam like lean down to pick up the bottle?
that's exactly what I was going to describe. So yeah, Ash knocked the bottle out of your hands. Vi gets really angry, comes to punch. Looks like it's all going to square up. Bam's just like out of it. He's like, oh, the bottle. Like leans down, and at that moment, she just like whiffs and spins around in a circle, and everybody sees it except for Bam. She comes back. He comes back up with his bottle in his hand, and that's it. So fun. That's really interesting how you guys kind of turn that around to possibly hurt your your bad guys there. All right, so now we're going to get to actual downtime. Now that we got the free one out of the way, we're gonna. There's no order or initiative to how we do this. It's just when you want to. You guys don't lose a supply because of your negotiating prowess. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and say, Ash, go ahead and put 1 XP mark in your resolve column for dealing with that like you did.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, now we're into downtime. So, what do you guys want to do? Who wants to do it? What's going on?
So I've got a question with that. With that one that I've just done, do I just have one left?
No, that was given to you for free because of the devil's
Right,
devil's
okay.
bargain that you took.
All right.
And that was part of the devil's bargain is like, yeah, you get all your stress removed. However, you know, there was obviously this real dangerous situation that happened as a result of that, which is the devil's bargain, right? So, but this time it worked in your favor. Not all the times it will.
We're looking real bad, and Ash knows a lot of people, so I'm gonna say she is gonna skulk away for a few days and try and find some kind of position.
Okay, that is fine. So is this something you're trying to acquire on a temporary basis or something long-term?
Long time's gonna take too long.
Okay. So you're
Also,
essentially...
she's not smart enough to do that. She's just gonna basically be looking for a quick help.
Okay. Yeah, that makes lots of sense. So you're trying to acquire an asset that you can utilize during this downtime period, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So then she's skulking away to do that. Now there is like a number of groups and people. I can help to fill that in. But what do you think? What is she rolling to get this asset?
It's funny you should ask that. I don't know.
Would we be able to get that that rolling thing on this page?
The rolling thing on this page?
Yeah, the information on.
descriptions, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're talking about the like the actions and what they do, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for you
Just so you
guys.
don't have to keep swapping them over.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
that's
helps,
fair.
like, kind of decide, okay, which
No,
what
well,
is she doing?
And that's the whole reason that I did this for you guys, because I know you're new to the game, and I wanted you to be able to look at the rules and not have to open up like a bunch of different pages and things. Just kind of like slap it all in one spot. Okay, give me a second to make this a little bit bigger so we can have some more things. All right, save. That should be good. I'm going to go ahead and move that over. Perfect. And then this is actions. So let me go over here. Okay. So we're looking at the skills. That's the one you're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I done try to help. All right. So yeah, go ahead and take a look at that. What is Ash doing to try and get a physician for your group? What is she rolling? Who's she talking to? You know, do your best to answer those questions, those types of questions.
She is, heading to one of her spots she knows, big old, like, I don't know, have you ever seen Arcane?
I've not,
Yes.
but I heard it's fantastic.
It's
I
really
was
good.
thinking, like, the whole, where, like, with all the basically the, like, undercity thing, and there's just, like, a bunch of shady people. Everyone's around, there's probably random fights going on, but one of those kind of, like,
Dive bar
underground
type
market-y yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And, see, I'm gonna throw myself under the bus here. I actually have a level 2 harm, I forgot about that, which means I have one less die. That means it may not have gone so well before, but I'm telling you that now so that, it comes into effect now.
Sure.
So because of that, she is going to lie her ass off and, try and persuade someone that she knows has a good, like a decent amount of medical knowledge, a little bit more than your simple slap a bandage on it, you'll be fine. And lie to them in the fact that they're like making them think that our settlement is a lot more developed than it is. We're a lot richer. We have more food than we do.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to be like, hey, trust me, and I'm going to get an extra die on this roll.
To kind of even it out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're trying to convince them that this is like a place where they're going to find more people to maybe make some more money.
I'm thinking it's like, how this is acquiring an asset. It's like a temporary thing. It's an attempt of being like, you can't come with us. We'll set you up. You'll be great. It'll be fun. And then they're gonna get there, assuming this goes well, and be like, this place is a dump, but I'm here now.
Gotcha. Okay.
That kind of
Like,
thing.
might as well make the best of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm gonna roll
So
to
this guy
sway.
comes out. I imagine he's got like a one of those surgical masks on, like slicked back hair. He has the equivalent of like a white coat, but it's obviously like very dirty and it's got blood on it. And it just says His name is Dr. Zed. And he goes, yeah, how can I do you for?
Well, I have an amazing opportunity for you.
Mm-hmm.
You ever lived under an underpass, like an overpass? Lovely views of just like derelict wasteland as far as the eye can see. Fresh tomatoes. I just saying.
Oh, okay.
Fresh.
I do like me some fresh tomatoes. Well,
Right?
yeah, that might work out. All right, go ahead and make your roll, and we'll see how effective it is on Dr. Zed.
Okay, so to clarify, I have 2 in sway. I'm hurt, but I'm lying, so that's going back up to a 2 dice.
Honestly, it sounds like everything you just told me is the truth, though.
True. Yeah, but I'm making it sound a lot better than it is.
Okay, go
Let's be
ahead.
fair. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass. I got my own practice right here, and I am pretty happy with it. But what I can do, because this is how like acquiring an asset works, is if you go to that when you roll a 1 to 3, you just get an inferior one. So rather than
coins.
Well, actually, no. So it would just be 1 supply. If you want to like sway him with actual tomatoes, he himself will come out there.
What
it
is
will
the
cost-
benefit of having a better tier doctor, like just in general?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So you're going to get a tier 0 doctor because he's fixing to send his intern with you, who's learning. Hey, I'm Randall, and I'm really learning great. And so he will roll 2d6 and take the lesser result when trying to heal all of you. Dr. Zed, Dr. Zed's nurse will go out there for 1 supply, and she will just roll 1 dice, and you will get that result. And if you give 2 supplies, Dr. Zed himself will go out there, and he will roll 2 die and take the better of 2. So those are your 3 options. No supplies, it is because of your roll. No supplies, and you will get Randall, the intern. You give 1 supply, you'll get his nurse, which means you'll have a better chance. And 2 supplies, Zed himself will come out there to do healing. And chances are better that you guys will get the healing you desperately need.
What are you guys thinking?
I think Randall sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, my thought process is
Sounds
if we
like he'd
get
fit in
Randall
really well.
right, and we actually are nice to him, we might be able to make a little contact, and eventually that guy
Yeah.
might join us and be better at his job.
Uh-huh.
We'll
That's
take
absolute-
Randall.
That's absolutely true. Randall, you could try and recruit Randall, and he could grow with your settlement. And so here's how it works: the higher tier your settlement is, the higher tier the people there are. So you guys are currently tier 0, which essentially is what he is. So as you get better, he'll get better. But right now, this is just a
Yeah,
temporary
it's a
asset.
little-
Randall's on loan.
Yeah, fuck it, we'll take Randall.
All right. Well, Randall sure could use that training anyway, so you just make certain he's safe. Hope you guys aren't being attacked by anybody. Everybody
No.
out here is. You know how it is. So just get back to me. Sheila? Yes, Dr. Zed? Yeah, if you could prep the patient in room 5, and he takes like a clearly used bloody rubber glove and still puts it on. He's like, all right, time to get to work. And he kind of goes off. And you guys have Randall for this section of downtime to help cure you of your harm.
But Randall's so inexperienced, he hasn't even had the chance to bloody up his gloves, so clean.
They're pristine, like off green color, which just means they're fresh. It's not acceptable.
The recovering is so brutal as well.
It is.
Right.
It really
'Cause
is.
you would have to roll 2 6s just to get slightly better. Like, we're still going to be super fucking hurt after this.
Well, keep in mind there are easier scores to get as well. They don't necessarily pay as much, but that is a possibility.
True.
All right, so Randall is with you guys. Let's go to another person for a downtime activity. Vi or Bam. What do you guys want to do?
You can go first, Aya.
I think Vi's gonna kind of do a 2-in-1 sort of, or a 1-in-2, or a 2-in-2, something. I don't know. Well,
Words.
She's gonna hit the. Absolutely. I don't know. Because she wants to. She's gonna go and indulge her vice and hit the pits.
Okay.
Beat some crap out of people.
Legit.
But also, use it as a bit of a training exercise at the same time.
All right, legit. Cool. So, I see what you're saying. So you want to try and use this fighting experience to also increase your XP, because that is how you're essentially like fighting to a stupor to.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How can we do this? I tell you what. I'll offer what I do for other folks, which is you won't recover as much stress, but you will gain 1 XP because you're also trying to get better.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, there is no getting better. I'm pretty fucking awesome.
Okay.
But yeah.
So yeah, whenever you're ready, go ahead and make a roll of what are you? Oh, so actually, if you're trying to reduce your stress, you take the score you have the least in, which for you would be insight, and you'll roll 1d6, and you will reduce that much stress. We're gonna half it to give you 1 experience point, though.
Okay.
So for the record, if you get a 1. You will not get any stress reduction. You'll just get the XP.
Okay. Well, I better not get a 1 then.
Yeah. What are the chances?
1 in 6.
Yeah, about that much.
Awesome. All right. So you don't reduce any stress because you're just so focused on trying to hone your craft. But I'm going to give you 1 XP in prowess as a result.
Nice, thanks.
You're welcome. You're too focused. So awesome. All right, Bam. What do you want to do?
I want to start a long-term project.
Ooh, okay. So what is the long-term project you would like to start?
I want to get some people around and see if we can figure out these papers.
Oh,
Ooh.
legit. I love it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with some of this kind of like newfound territory we have now from me making it bigger. I am going to start a 10-segment clock.
Okay.
I'm going to put it over here. We'll keep all of our clocks right here, and we'll just keep a track of them. Let me go ahead and copy that. Put this one over here.
For just general reference, I'm not like intending on doing this time, but can we all work towards the same project?
Yes, you can.
Cool. Good to know.
Figure out the hydroponics farm papers. That is an apt description of what you are trying to do. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a 10-segment clock. It's going to go ahead and start out at 0.
We did it.
Yay! And you'll build it up. Once it's full, you'll do it. So now, what skill? So why don't you describe to me the situation, what it looks like? Let's picture the narrative together, and then we'll make the roll.
All right.
So go ahead.
So I feel like Bam's sitting in the workshop, all the papers scattered on the desk, and he's just like fingers on his forehead, like elbow on the table, just trying to work out piece by piece how this all connects together. Just trying to figure it out.
Then I'll get to use my minigun.
Awesome. Okay. So what would you like to roll to advance this long-term project?
No, Sas, we're doing it together. Remember?
Let me have a look at the
Ooh,
I
I
think
feel
you should roll wreck.
you tear up the papers, and now it's all gone.
I mean, you're already almost fucked us.
I don't have any in Rex, so I'm not gonna use that. And I'm already at a -1.
Do you want me to help with that?
You
'Cause
want
I'm
some
rolling
cocaine?
really
I can give
well.
you a temporary +1 in wreck and rage.
What's the code?
So okay, so I got a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
Since I've got that -1 because of the 2 harm,
Mm-hmm.
how would a 1d on that insight go? Oh wait, we've got the implants too. What does that do?
Oh shit.
That's a very good question. What do the implants do? Let me check the glow-in-the-dark rulebook, but I believe the implants, like, give you an additional point towards
There's resistance or something.
thinking skills or something like that. Maybe, yeah, it's resistance skills. You get a +1 to resistance skills.
If you had to give a little description of what that may be.
I
Yeah.
was about to say, what does that mean?
Ah, okay, so resistance. Hold on, buddy. I need you to be quiet. All right, so a resistance would be like you are somebody's trying to stab you, right? And you are resisting, which will reduce the level of harm. And then the resistance roll determines how much stress you're taking as a result. So if you roll a
So-
6, none. If you roll a 1, you'd take 5
So
stress.
what if I'm resistant to give up?
Man, you really want that extra dice, don't you? So you can utilize the same mechanics as you would during scores and the like. So what that means is
So take a devil's bargain.
you could take a devil's bargain. You could take stress to get an additional die. Those are all possible options.
So I've only got 1 in read right now,
Okay.
and the sprained arm is giving me a -1. So I don't know how that would work.
You would roll 2 dice and take the lesser of 2.
Take the lower. Okay.
Correct. And so here's the thing with these particular, like, advancing a clock like this. All that happens is that you either get 1 segment of the clock, 2, 3, or 5
Right,
based
okay.
on what you roll. Now you can't get 5 because you don't have the capability to get a crit. So the most you can get is rolling double 6s and getting 3.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll just do that.
Okay. So figuring out the papers. Let's see what you roll. 2d6, take the lesser of 2. Okay, so you don't get the 3, you get 1 segment of the clock. And how I admit...
Hold on a minute. I'm pretty sure that's 2 6s, Prankster. Trust me.
Why is he sharing?
Oh wait, what?
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Just trying to lie to him.
yeah. For a moment, it almost
Couldn't
worked.
see the bottom
See,
of
I
the
almost-
screen
I
for a
almost
second
had
there,
it.
so I was like, what?
I almost had it.
He's not close enough.
Also, you guys can team up to help one another. That is another option for future reference. When you team up, and actually here, I'll go ahead and put that on this page as well, because I think that will be helpful.
Could I have had the potential to team up there in the... Don't worry, Bam. You've got it. I know how you can stay awake and work on this loads more. Do some coke.
You know what? If Bam wants to take some coke, I will have it numb her pain and I will take that 6. However, there will be a consequence because she's doing cocaine.
What's the
Some people just-
consequence?
Some people just aren't hard into it like me.
Yeah, you can lead a group, assist, take 1 stress to give another player 1 die. You might also suffer consequences from the roll. So if you did want to have assisted her to give her the extra die to push her back up to just 1 again, I'll take it, but you have to take 1 stress.
What happens when your stress fills?
You essentially, when your stress fills, your character is knocked out of the current run that they're in. If they are in a run, if they're not in a run, or when they get back from the run, essentially what ends up happening is they kind of go off on their own to recover. They isolate. Something happens to them where their stress meter like peaks them out. They're super overwhelmed, and then they develop a new trauma. Once your character hits 4 traumas, they are effectively out of the game.
I think my problem here is I'm 3 stress away from being at that point.
Hey,
And
same.
I wish I'd known maybe that, and maybe how against these other 2 were about healing themselves before I went out and got a doctor. But that's, you know,
They might still
By
heal
the by,
themselves. This is just their first. This is
I'm
their
not
first
gonna
downtime
help
action.
because I don't know that I'm gonna be able to indulge in my vice
Okay.
in this downtime
I'd
because
give
I've
it
got
a
fucking
one.
torso
It's,
like
it's,
a
it's
Yeah.
on your project. It's not, you know, it's not
Yeah.
gonna harm
Yeah,
anyone. So.
it's meant
Yeah.
to be like a long-term project for that reason.
One that's
So
farmed, man.
one piece of the pie is filled in. I didn't really give
Pie.
Vi the option earlier to kind of describe how, like, I imagine she's fighting and trying to get better at the same time. She's trying to reduce stress and fight. How does that look in our mind's eye for why it's not like super effective for her? Not because normally that type of thing would relieve stress, but it didn't. So how does that look, Vi?
Does she lose
I think-
a fight?
No, I think the thing that Vi kind of relishes is the challenge, and I think maybe she would come up against people that were just too easy, as it were. Like she just wasn't getting pummeled back as much as she really wanted. Like, because you know, when she's kind of like this, she likes to get the crap beaten out of her too. It's not just
Sure.
about beating people up, and
Yeah.
you know, maybe she just didn't quite get what she wanted out of it. in
Yeah.
that way.
Vi sounds like a very healthy person, by the way.
Absolutely.
just beat on me. So, yeah. Cool. All right. So Vi. All right. So that was one round of downtime activities. Everybody got one. And so now we're going to come back to Outlaw at the top. Outlaw, your second downtime activity. What would you like to do?
I would like to work on recovering, please.
Okay. So, paint the picture for me. You've got Randall at your settlement on loan. How does this look?
Now, as cool as it was when she was doing it, you know, fucking flamethrower and the big old plants from on top of the car, and at the time she was a little high, so she didn't really notice. But since she's been back, these cuts all around her torso and kind of like on her forearm from when she stuck her arm out the window the first time, it's finally starting to get to her a little bit. That's why she went out and found someone to kind of help, thinking that everyone else might be beat up too, because we all look real bad. And
Sure.
I don't know, she's just a little miserable. So she brings Randall back and kind of throws, in a typical fashion, throws a tomato towards him. And
The
you know,
signature move now.
Suck it,
shows
Randall.
shows into a relatively cleanish room, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what we've got going on. And you know, it's just like, fix me up, dude.
Okay. So yeah, you bring Randall back to the cleanest room you can find, which isn't incredibly clean. Okay, I just got you. Like, I'll let you know this isn't the normal implements I work with, but I'm gonna try. Dr. Zed
but I
taught
believe in
me.
you.
Dr. Zed taught me the first song for medicine that you're supposed to know. And
Song?
so as he starts healing you up, he goes, the foot bone's connected to the knee bone. The knee bone's connected to the hip bone. And then he rolls 2D. Okay, 3.
I was gonna ask if I could double bargain this.
Oh.
I don't know if that's possible. I just want to know.
Why is there a scroll on
Yeah, I would allow it.
Okay.
So
Let's
you
hear
want to
one.
hear a devil's bargain? Okay. Devil's bargain.
Keep going.
You're putting a lot of pressure on Randall for this particular moment. And so you can see that he's kind of sweating. You see he's like taking to it. But it might be harder to get him back here in the future. Not saying it's impossible, just harder because of the amount of pressure you're putting on him.
Is that too big of a problem? Is Randall
No,
good?
like,
No. I'll take it.
Okay, so you do it. All right, so you put all this pressure on Randall. He's like, okay, I'll do my best. And actually, because of that, your healing will go up from 1 slice to 2 slice because I'll just take the 4 as opposed to the 3. You're able to push him over. So what happens, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a clock here. Unless there's a clock on your character sheet.
No, I don't see one.
Yeah, I don't see one either. So this is
no,
going...
I can add one.
Oh, you can add one?
It's not 10. Yeah, I can just basically say how many pieces it's got done.
All right, so if you want to keep track of that, you can put that in your notes or wherever. Oh, yeah, there you go. Healing. There you go. Clocks. Perfect. And actually, Irish, if you want to keep track of your clock there as well. So now your healing will be at 2 out of 4 clocks.
Okay.
Okay.
Or 2 out of 4 pieces. Now, this is a really cool thing about Blades in the Dark and for harm and for healing. When you get that maxed out, what will happen is your laceration forearm will, from you being roughed up, will disappear. It's gone because that was a level 1 harm. Your level 2 harm will then be reduced to a level 1 harm. So everything, all the harm you have concurrently goes down 1 step until it kind of like all goes off. Now here's a bad thing, and this is important for you to know about Blades in the Dark. Should you have any healing towards like your harm, but it's not complete, and you go out on a mission and you get like injured, take another harm, all your healing goes away. Any healing that you developed.
Why am I bothering? Ash is just gonna die.
That's not true. But you should be aware of that. Okay,
I've got a question.
go
So
ahead.
the figuring out the farm papers one, it only goes up in it only goes to 12. It goes from 8 to 12. So there's no like 10.
I'm using a 10. On your page.
Yeah.
Then we'll just use the one on the downtime because
group
I have that as a 10. Now, a long-term project can be. This is
Give me your money.
filling out this part of the clock is just the first one. You're figuring out the papers, and then
Yeah,
there'll
yeah.
be like another one that's
There'll be
like getting
another
this.
one,
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. On that note, it is either Aya or Irish's turn.
Wanna go again, Aya?
I'm thinking.
I kind of hate that
Okay.
I'm now in a position where in the next round I can't get hurt or be stressed.
Well, if you're thinking about it, I'm gonna go and do a little bit of recovery.
Randall's
talk a
great.
little,
He's
Randall.
really good.
So yeah,
I'm a little bit beat up too.
sure. All right. So you go over to Randall in his little place. Hey, how you doing there, Bam? He like wipes sweat off of his brow. He's like clearly trembling. What can I do to help?
Bam just kind of puts his arm out, like rolls up his sleeve, and shows him like the sprained arm.
Oh yeah, that looks bad. That looks really, really bad.
Can you fix it?
Yeah, I could do my best. So now that specific devil's bargain, just so we're clear, was just for her.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
not for you. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to roll 2d6. Anything you want to do before I roll?
I want to give him half of the tomato that I was eating.
You know what?
Hey, you just cleared all your stress. Take the stress hit. Get another die.
You know what? I like that. I'm gonna chill Randall out a little bit. Pump him up to a d6.
Ellie.
Thanks. That last lady was real intense.
Wow, I throw a
Alright.
tomato at him and he's like, and he eats
Oh.
it and he's not happy, but you give him half of what? Damn. I'm kidding. I'm
You
a
didn't
bitch.
throw
however.
one at him. Okay.
I did. That's fine.
All right, here we go. 1d6. 6! Oh,
Oh my god, nice.
beautiful. So, Randall really comes through for Irish. And so as a result, you get 3 out of 4 for your healing. To fix. Yeah. They call me Mr. Magic Fingers. And then he does like this like weird thing with his fingers. Oh,
You know what would be really cool?
yeah.
If you did that, you put some some bolts on your finger, make them like ting as you did it.
Oh man,
Cool
that
sound.
would be real cool. I need like special gloves.
Why do I feel like Randall would have the time of his life with the Knight Riders? Okay, here I go.
All right. All right, that is Randall and Bam. All right, good job. And all right, so now we're back to Aya.
Hey, Sai, look, my friend. Look, my
Can
friend.
I work on
He has a super
securing the
happy face, he has
compound
one
some
box
more?
and he has 800,000.
Since we've just been visited by the Night Riders twice.
Oh, sure. Okay, Irish, I'm on your character sheet, so I'm going to move to the tribe really quick. So mechanically, are you asking if you can make it more, like you want to do this as like acquiring an asset, temporary, or is this like a more permanent thing, like long term?
Like long term.
Okay, so you want to start a long-term project. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start another 10-segment clock for you. Actually, what happened to my... I lost the text for figuring out the papers.
No, it's there. It's just
So I
lower
see it.
down.
Oh, I don't see it. Okay.
It's below it.
Oh! I see what I did. All right, so let's do this, actually. Just to make things a little... I'm just going to do right to the side like that. I'm going to say that is also a 10-segment clock. And we're going to go here. And similar to
Josiah?
Irish,
Real quick, Josiah?
we're going to say securing the hideout.
Just don't play with your stuff. He's still waiting.
Okay. And we're going to make this, we already made it a 10-segment clock. So we are going to reduce that to 0. So describe to me what this looks like, Aya.
We've got to figure out a different plan.
I want to try and she's kind of checking around the place to see
I just got one of our
where
old
we can
friends
make
out.
improvements. Where we can add in extra traps, maybe get up a fence. Set up a better perimeter. Lots of barbed wire. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Start trying to find barbed wire, I guess.
Barbed wire and spikes.
All right.
Spikes, yeah, lots of spikes.
Then I'm going to
Cool.
call this planning out defenses. There you go. Okay. Planning out defenses. What do you want to roll to do this?
Huh.
Oh, you gave me money?
I mean, what about a hunt? Gather information about
Sure.
the base's location and the area, and just kind of get the lay of the land, as it were. Hunt around the area.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a hunt, and we'll go from there. Two. All right. So that's just going to be one slice of the clock as you begin looking at different ways to improve the defenses of your guys' hideout. Okay. Cool. All right. So now we have tentatively reached to the end of downtime. And I say tentatively because there's one last thing I have not told you yet. And I was specifically waiting for you to end downtime to tell you. You can choose at the end of after you're done with your
Besides,
the amount of like stuff that you've been given, to then utilize supplies for an additional round of downtime. Now, it would cost 1 supply per person per round.
Oh,
So, if you'd like to utilize it, that is something you absolutely can do. You guys currently have, I believe, 3 supplies in your tribe. Now, I think 1 supply went to your friend, who you got the information from. And I think you may have lost some, correct? Or no? Oh, no. You utilized 1. We already took it away for the attrition that happens in between runs.
Yeah.
So I think you got a total of 4 supplies then. You have, you currently have 3 left. Would you like to utilize any for any additional rounds of downtime?
If you two want like another round of downtime for healing, then I's gonna keep herself busy.
Ash is gonna use all 3 supply. No.
Now, I'd also
no
remind you, you guys
way.
can indulge in your vice as another thing to get stress back.
I kind of want to do that, but then my other side is like, if I use a supply and then roll like a 1, I'm gonna feel real fucking bad.
It's a risk one way or the other.
So I don't know if I wanna.
You never know what can happen. So, stress, you recover stress equal to the number you roll on that die.
I gotta be Rebecca.
Sure. So, if you'd like to utilize it, now's your time. But we need to make a decision to keep things moving.
Nah. Let's go crazy and maybe get traumatized. It'll be fine.
Do you not want to get healed?
So you are
What if I
fine,
what if I
heal up.
recover 1 piece? Like, it could be pointless.
They're going.
so it's true. However, I mean, yeah, it's up to you. How do you want to do this? It's your call, Ira or Outlaw.
We'll try to heal. I need my stuff back.
Okay, so you're going to try to heal. So you're going to go back to Randall.
Yeah.
Oh God, the
Be
scary
nice
lady's
to him
back.
this time.
What's
What
scary?
do you mean, scary lady? Can I like attempt to? I was gonna say warm him up to me, but can I attempt? Yeah. Can I attempt to like charm the guy?
Sure. So you want to try and smooth things over with him.
Yeah. But I'm only gonna be able to roll the 1 dice.
That's fine. Go ahead. You can always give it a try.
Nice.
Tell me how you describe to me what you're doing. Did you roll a d6? You rolled the
yeah.
1?
Yeah. I was sort of attempting to be like, hey, no, it's all good. You're great. You're really good. And just absolutely fumbles it.
I was gonna say I'd like for you to describe to me that 1. It sounds like kind of like you have. So
Yeah.
she's trying to be kind and she's not used to it.
She's just no.
We're all monkeys. Well, and
Cool.
we have to-
All right. So yeah, Randall's like, all right, well, I just don't trust you. I'm gonna have him roll 2d6 unless you would like to do anything else to augment that roll.
I got a minute, Randall. Who safely got you here from where we came from? I could have
I mean-
sacrificed you to multiple, but this isn't going well.
I could have sacrificed you to
I rolled a
that.
1, you know.
You're making it
That-
worse. You're making it worse.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
You know what? Randall sucks. I don't like this guy, but yeah, no, please help.
All right, here we go. 2d6, taking the worst.
Do you need Vi to come in there and crack her knuckles? Because can't make it
I
any
don't know if that will help.
No.
It's gonna stress him out.
Here we go. I rolled a
Not as much
3
as you
and a
have.
5, which means
Excellent.
unfortunately you only take 1 bit of healing.
Why would you roll that?
So you are at 3 out of 4. You're almost there.
Great.
You're not a good teamer.
That was 1 supply, so if you guys will subtract that from the group supplies, that puts your tribe down from 3 supplies to 2 supplies.
So glad I did that, Vi.
Okay, is there any other additional downtime actions you guys would like to take? Your tribe currently has 2
Residue.
left.
What are those green bubbles? What are those green bubbles?
Oh, that's right. Irish is gone. All right. So since Irish is gone, what I'm going to do is kind of move us towards talking about other possible things that are going along.
I'm back.
So, oh, all right. Well, no, I won't. Irish, would you like to take another downtime activity, or should we move on?
I'm down to move on as long as I don't get into too much trouble.
Now, just FYI, Irish, if you do a healing, you will decrease your sprained arm to a level 1 harm. Any amount of healing will do that because all you need is 1 pie, which means you'll get 1 dice back. It's up to you.
Just to let you know, though, they persuaded me to take a supplies and get healed, and I got healed by 1 like I thought I would, so it was pointless. And I'm mad at myself.
So you're at 2 supplies on your guys'
Are we at 2 now?
characters.
Okay.
You're at 2 because now would you like to also utilize 1 to heal some more, or are you good?
I want to, but that would take us down to 1. 1 isn't very many.
Well, it's not very big, but you're about to go on a run. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Yeah, we're about to go out, and 1's more than none, and
Alright, I'll do it.
Okay, so you're gonna get
we're
healing.
not starving yet.
As long as I don't get hurt or stressed, then this run will be fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and you go into Randall's. All right. Hey, my favorite patient, you're back.
I hate,
You said you hate him.
hate this guy. I safely traversed him through the absolute wasteland. He's like, oh, it's the mean lady.
Now he's sitting on his crate of tomatoes, just eating them right in your face, like he owns the place. Thanks for this, by the way. All right, let's get you healed up. And he's gonna roll. I rolled 2d6. I'm waiting for the roll to resolve. For whatever reason, it's taking a while. Good job, roll 20. Double 6s.
Christ, I can't stress my disappointment right now.
All right, so Irish, what that means is
Yeah.
not. He's like, man, I just love how you are so easy to work on. Your healing will go 4 out of 4, and your sprained arm gets reduced to a, we'll just call it tweaked arm. And so that means all your rolls will be reduced, but you won't have any less die. And because of that, Randall did such a good job that you're already at 2 out of 4 healing on your tweaked arm.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Randall, you seem to be doing a great job. You want to pass on some of that residual magic fingers over here?
I forgot about the magic fingers. I can definitely do that. And he does this, and it's really quite off-putting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what's the effect? What does that mean?
So that means when we roll, so like for instance, if I say, all right, this is a risky roll, and it will be to great effect, to standard effect, or less effect. If it is a standard effect, your what you're trying to do will get reduced to a lesser. And if it is a great effect, it will be reduced to a standard. And you can take drugs to help offset that, like we've already decided, because your mind is clear of the pain. But you run the risk of addiction, which is also fun. So what you gonna do?
Hell yeah.
All right, if everybody will reduce your tribe's supplies down to 1, just so that we're all on the same page. It is a new day. You guys have done a lot of healing, getting better. You look at your supplies, your little warehouse that you have, your pallet. You don't have much left. In fact, you know that you need to go out on a run to get some more supplies. You know that the Night Riders are in this area. You know that they're constantly gunning for you. You know that the Disciples of Rex have some of your old supplies as well as your old people. You know about the farm and the barrens. There actually isn't a great amount of information you have about that, though. Just in terms of like you know where it is and the like, so you could try to traverse that again, especially knowing how the resources that are there. You could also try and kind of like go and scavenge one of these other places. You can put your ear to the ground, talk to some of your friends to help you kind of come up with something. Some of you guys have friends, and you can talk to them about kind of like ginning up more work, more possible runs. So those are kind of the options that are before you.
We've also got a positive relationship with the shelter. I don't know if it'd be worth, going and talking to them and seeing, if they know of anywhere.
Absolutely.
Or if they have anything to spare. Which is probably a no.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to go talk to the sheltered?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
That's what you find out. Randall is the leader of the shelter.
Welcome to my fortress. You guys make your way to the boxes, and at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and turn us back a page to the rules for scores, so that we're there. And for friends who are following along, I'm going to go ahead and disable the kind of this post-apocalyptic slideshow I have up, so that way you can actually see the artwork from the game. I was kind of showing it a little bit earlier, but should be helpful to kind of see things in a little bit more better detail. Here we go. The boxes. The boxes. They are the picked-over skeletons of suburbia that stretch far and wide across the boneyard. Rows of crumbling homes offer little shelter. Ramshackle big box fortress malls built by the first tribes lie in ruins. I imagine desert with the occasional weeds pops up. Maybe see like giant bat mutants in the sky. Occasionally hear the beep beep of robots doing your best to take shelter in this area. You know that it's less hazardous than the Barrens, and actually generally has some more resources when you can find them. You know that the Sheltered is actually an underground commune, and it has a pretty brisk trade business with other local villages and other factions. They're a good source for both goods and gossip. Although as people, they tend to be pretty standoffish, and they are very particular about their strange protocols. However, they're able to back up.
Their arms and their hearts to us. That's so nice of them.
They're able to back up all of their weird stuff with pre-war weaponry, automated defenses from a hardened bunker they call home. You find essentially a giant, essentially a fallout shelter. It appeared to be some type of community fallout shelter in the event of a war that these people have taken over. Son, I need you to not be so loud, okay? Take an ear off. Take an ear off so you can hear your voice.
Shaded.
Had to do a little parenting there. Now, it just so happens that the Sheltered got you.
Brain pot.
No, I see what's going on. So you make your way into this sheltered area, and I imagine that there's this person who's dressed in pre-war clothing. They have like an old weapon there, maybe some weird goggles, and they're like, the Roadrunners. It's good to see you. What brings you to our humble abode? And he kind of like motions towards the giant fallout shelter behind him. Well, what brings you here?
Yeah, what does bring us here? Ash, it's your idea.
I'm hella wounded. I'm not leading this.
It was your idea.
Yeah.
Well, you know how we go way back, right? think.
Yes, you have done us a good turn.
And you've done us a good turn too. We're hurting, and I'm wondering if maybe you or some of your people might have some good leads on some interesting places, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes. Well, I suppose you'll have to speak to the director. The director is the one that gives out that type of work or has knowledge of things. I guard the frontier. So, wise to probably talk to one of the members of the Council of Precepts. That would be probably Edict Torney. He would be the one to talk to. And without further ado, let you. Sorry. I don't know if I want to do this. Okay, he does. He has a top hat on, and he's got like a little like stash that's kind of coming in, and he's like, "But let me open the door for you, m'lady." And he like does this little top hat. Opens the door.
Which Ash totally smiles at as he's doing it. For the second his head bows to tip the top hat, she just rolls her eyes.
Still got it. And so as
Bam
you
just gives him that little giggle and follows.
as you walk in, you can see that the sheltered are quite well off. You can see technology, just well-working pipe systems, people who are cataloging. This is a really well-run, efficient settlement. If there's a good ally to have, it's them. As you're passing, you kind of like see some, the equivalent of like propaganda, maybe kind of like on like wallpapers. And some of it says, "Beware the Iron Maidens. Don't let them hold you in their clutches." And it's like stylized after like 1940s propaganda. Like there's a guy who's like trapped in an Iron Maiden, like trying to get out, right? And it's like, "Talk to your local shelter today." And it's a guy looking, breaking the fourth wall, giving a thumbs up, holding out a hand.
I thought they were talking about us.
Oh, no. And then another one, it says, "Watch out for the Night Riders." And it's like this car that's like
totally
black.
Bitched about them, haven't we?
Yeah, it's totally black, and there's like blood on the wheels, and it just looks terrible. And then they've got like some allies and friends, like the Free Radicals and the Sleepwalkers. But you guys know this, that you're not really on any of these. Probably because you're kind of small. And I mean, you guys are friends, but you're not like allies. In time, you make your way through this facility, people going to and fro. And the sheltered are, like I said, they're a pretty good ally to have because they are they're a level 2, they're a tier 2, tribe. So they're not nothing to sneeze at.
I got a question.
Sure.
While we're walking through, can Bam be like making like mental notes of like how things are working in here and just like try and remember that stuff to be able to like utilize that later?
Sure, I think that's fun. Like kind of like a beautiful mind moment, like we see through Bam's eyes, and there's like all these calculations and stuff as it's going on. That's cool. In time, you make your way towards what appears to be kind of like a small, not auditorium, but kind of like a conference room. You see kind of a group of people there. You're being led. The guy at the top hat is the one that's been leading you, and he's like, Edict Torney, we have these members from the, kind of like pulls out a paper, the Road Runners. And Edict Torney is kind of like looking, like you can tell he's like going through like a mental Rolodex, and he's like, you're one of the good ones. Yes, please, come on in. Shuts the door behind you, and you're there with the entirety of like what appears to be the council, but Edict Torney, who kind of appears to be kind of like an older man. He's balding, like he's got like those like wispy hairs that are kind of like going over like the top of his skull, and he's wearing a green and yellow jumpsuit. In fact, all of them are wearing green and yellow jumpsuits. They appear to have some device on their left wrists that they all kind of like keep checking every so often. How can we help you, Roadrunners?
Does anyone else want to take this?
I can't talk to people, dude. I got nothing in that shit.
You might be hurt, but
Well,
you
it's
might
good
also
to
be.
see you guys again.
It's good to
I'm in
see
so
you.
much pain.
Oh, help her out, will you? Yes, and one of them comes with this huge ass needle. It's got to be
Oh, hello.
like 4 inches long, and it's like, if you'd like, we can help you with that pain.
Is this gonna be good or bad?
Oh, good.
You know?
It'll you reduce your pain. We think.
Yeah, I mean I've done worse.
All right, I'm gonna roll a luck roll. 1 through 3, bad. 4 through 6, good. 4.
So lucky.
The pain kind of like fades from view for a moment, and you feel like you're a little bit more on top of things. You feel a little bit tired, but the pain. So what we'll do is, for the duration of this, the time while you're here with the sheltered, I'm going to go to your character sheet really quick. Your harms will be reduced by 1 level, so you'll only deal with the reduced effect, not the lack of die.
Okie dokie. Let's go.
All right, so what brings you here? Now that you're able to think a little bit more clearly, how can we help you?
I noticed your posters about the crappy night riders.
They suck.
They really suck. You know, like they're basically our neighbors, right?
Oh, you know what? That makes sense. You guys are in the roads, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
You know,
they-
I mooned them a couple of nights ago.
You know what? I like this one. Write that down about her. Mooned the Night Riders. Did you? Are you turning into Dibs?
Yes, very slowly.
I love it.
So yeah, they've been harassing us as they do. They're kind of douchebags and think they own everything.
I
Not
agree.
very smart though. It's kind of weird how they seem to think they're in some fucking musical.
This is no fair.
Yeah, we did catch them snapping the last time they left our place and our people.
I think that's new. I think they've just started doing that.
I think it's a flex. Like they're like, we're so much better than you that we're just gonna.
Maybe it's like a look at me. I have all my fingers.
You know what? I believe that's so. Councilman Torres, and Councilman Torres looks at you very like forlornly, and he sticks up both of his hands, and he's clearly missing like 3 digits. And then he looks sad, and then he looks down at the table.
Was that a
See, and I mean that's not very nice to people like Torres here. You know.
Yes, I agree. They're a bunch of d-bags.
So yeah, they've been giving us some trouble lately. We've
Why do you call us
held them off for now.
bully?
All right.
Kind of sent them into a death trap, honestly. So
You
we'll see
sent
how
them-
that pans out.
I'm sorry. You sent them into a death trap.
Yeah, some friends of ours were on some had heard some things. We went out on a bit of an excursion, ran into some trouble, but thought, hey, I mean that's a good place to send them, right?
I like your thinking. Councilman Torres, write that down. Oh, you're missing your thumb. Never mind. Councilman Benson. Yes? Will you please write that down? Yes, sir. And she begins writing it down, like putting it into her little wrist thing.
Okay, so as a okay, yeah,
What's it do?
I was wondering if perhaps
Soon you'll find
you
out.
or some of your people, some of your
Why
council
don't you just
members
do that?
may have heard of a good location to maybe do some scrounging, as it were, to help us out. And in exchange, okay, it's an out of character thing. My plan here. We're already kind of friendly with them, right? Like to a point, not like allies. What could help us? And I was gonna ask you guys what you thought. Potentially working with them on this long-term project of farming.
Ooh, you mean like giving them the papers or letting them take a look?
Like working with them for it.
I was thinking about that, but then my mind was like, it is like that type of like era where people screw each other over the
Oh,
silliest
big time.
thing.
Oh, big time. I
And then my
remind you
mind
we're
was
on
like,
one supply. We're on one supply, and
I
a
know.
couple of us are nearly dead.
Yeah.
Fine, as long as we don't go anywhere too dangerous.
No, honestly, Ash is fine as long as she doesn't go anywhere. So I just want to throw the idea out there.
I think that could
Could
lead
be
to
a
some pretty
bargaining
good situations though if we do that.
It could.
It's up to you guys.
But
Make
then
your...
again, if we get the farm up and running, we can use that as a bargaining chip,
Right?
We
Yeah.
could.
can't we?
The only downside to maybe not using this is we have literally nothing else to offer these people for information. Like people don't just give information out for nothing. We don't have anything to offer them.
Well, it just so happens that I have... I think we could actually take... we could help one another out, as it were. We are... no doubt, since you've been here, and sure enough, you would have figured this out by now, that it's very cramped. The shelter live in what appears to be just this underground bunker. And while it's holding them now, it's still pretty tight for what they have. We need to find more space. Now, we have scouted a few locations in the dunes, in the boneyard, even some more areas within the boxes. What we need is people to go and explore these locations for us. Find out whether or not they're safe, make them safe, give us an approximate idea of what we're dealing with. In turn, what we are willing to do is, assuming you don't do any lasting damage to these possible locations, you can have first looting rights for whatever's left. You might be able to find some resources that would be helpful to your tribe. You would get resources. You would come back with information about any of these locations, one of them. And that would be helpful.
Seems like a pretty sweet deal to me. What do you guys think?
Bam's just
I
nodding his
think
head.
we can do that for you.
So, where would you say is the least dangerous? Because you don't want to live somewhere dangerous, do you? You know, like the Barrens, for instance. That place sucks. I definitely don't recommend that.
I don't know of any smart person that would ever go to the Barrens. It's quite a dangerous place. There's mutated plants and giant worms all over the place. It's willing to kill you.
Yeah.
Not to mention the group of pharaohs. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why did nobody tell us about this giant worm before now? Like,
Right. Right. You think that's a really important part to not admit when you tell them?
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, if you would have come to us, we would have told you. But, you know.
Yeah, but we'd just been hit by the Apostles of Rex. We were starving. You know how it is.
Yes. Well, in any case, your choice. You can either go to the dunes. You can either go towards the location that we have in the boxes, or you can you can check out the area in the boneyard. It is your choice. We have 3 locations that need looking out.
Can we have a really quick OAC rundown over each of those, please?
Sure.
I only
areas.
looked at the dip dots, but I think the dunes. I only had 2 in hazards and 4 in resources.
The boneyard. Oh, that's meta.
God, meta.
Can't believe it. Carcasses of skyscrapers still reach uselessly for the silent heavens. Hulks and wrecks choke the streets. Collapsed apartment buildings and long looted storefronts sit clogged with debris. And he would say, yes, the boneyard. You'll definitely want to... there are places in lowdown that we are going to need to, which we've taken to calling the Boneyard. You'll want to go and check those out. We have one particular location. Apparently, it's let's see here. It's a place called Exion. Some type of building with that on its front.
Sounds like a stinky corpo to me.
If you are going to go to the boxes, there are some larger malls in the area that might prove useful for us. And so there is one particular one that we think could be quite helpful. It's called Bent Ross. What do we think, based on everything that we can see there? And then finally, in the dunes, there's some building that apparently exists beneath the sands. It will take some looking for. And it's called Mazo. So, if you'll check those out, that would be excellent for us.
Don't even have money.
Sounds like a good plan.
Now,
Yeah.
I want my team.
Right, which one would you like to check? Because we have other teams that will be assembled to go check the other ones. We're constantly looking for new places. Will you be going to the dunes? Will you be going to the boneyard? Or will you be going to another area in the boxes?
I'll let you guys pick.
500 more. I want monkey money.
I feel like the dunes would probably be a good show.
Monkey money.
Because then we could see threats coming from a distance.
Yeah.
True.
We're not encased in tightly knit buildings. Things
Harder
hiding
to
around
sneak
corners.
up on you in that kind of
Yeah.
environment.
Excellent. All right.
Out of interest,
Mhm.
you know the dunes, sand and stuff. There doesn't happen to be a giant worm there too, is there?
Oh, we are not familiar with any giant worms that are in the place.
Good to know.
Oops. People can see that I was looking at something else. Okay. All right. So, that sounds like that is the decision that you are making. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think the dunes
All
is a
right.
good shout.
So,
Before we go,
sure.
sorry, can I attempt to flatter them into potentially giving us some supplies to take on the journey?
You could try.
So that maybe we could be able to, one of us have a heavier load if we need to.
Sure.
So-
All right. So, here's what I'm going to say. If you can, make your roll, because you are a reduced effect, this will be lesser effect. So, the most you'll be able to get is maybe like an additional supply, which would give you
Yeah.
each the ability to take a medium load.
How many stress do you use to help?
1.
Can I use 1 stress to help?
Sure. So yeah, describe to me how you're helping.
You could compliment like the whole place because you seem
Yeah,
kind of enamored with it.
yeah. I could be like, I really like this place that you got. It's really in depth. I wish I could be as good as you guys.
Sure.
Plan to be there one day.
Well,
But after this,
perhaps. Maybe we'll just have to steal you. Kind of looks over, whispers to somebody behind him, and he like points towards you. And somebody like writes something on a clipboard. Excellent.
nah. No, give me all your money. I need some sun.
That being said, your little protege over here would probably might be better off assessing the place for this kind of technology. If we could maybe take a little extra sort of food and water with us. It sounds pretty dry out there, all the sand.
I don't know, how many resources do we actually have? Kind of looks towards everybody, and everybody's got kind of like a dour look on their face. But go ahead and roll me your... Go ahead and roll me your roll. Remember, you get the extra die from Irish.
Yeah, so back up to 2. Great. I can't roll today.
I mean, it's success though, right?
No.
Did you... Ah, man, I keep missing... Yeah, that's a fail. I'm sorry. We just do not have the resources to assist you. But,
Understood.
But, go with Odd.
What is odd?
Why, Odd is the great being in the sky who takes care of us. He's not there right now, though.
Odd.
He only comes out when it's dark.
Oh, okay. We'll keep an eye out for him. Thank you for your blessings.
You're very welcome.
Blessed be Odd.
Blessed
Yeah,
be
thanks.
Odd. He might be talking about the moon, but you're not entirely
gonna-
certain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Vi's were like whispering to the others on the way out. Does he mean the moon?
Does he mean the moon?
Right.
I think that's the moon. Legit. Okay, so you guys have this mission. So you know it is. You have directions to where you believe Mazo is. However, the dunes are pretty difficult. Why don't you describe to me what kind of approach you're taking? This is pretty much an exploratory mission, but I realized I never put up engagement stuff for you guys. Oh, I know where the engagement stuff is. Open up your character sheets really quick. And if you go to your character sheet, in the bottom right corner, it says planning.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So that is what when I say what's the approach you're taking, that's what I mean. Are you assaulting? Are you stealthing? Socializing? Transport? What are you doing to kind of engage this mission to get after
Take the
it?
car. I could modify the car a bit to handle the sand better.
Some thick wheels
Some-
on there,
some
or
big
thin.
bal-
I don't know what's
yeah.
good for sand.
Big balloon tires. Yeah, because the car did us so much good last time.
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Better
it's
than
not-
walking though.
Yeah, it's not really a like a
So-
stealthy mission. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so you guys are you're gonna take your vehicle there. Oh, you kind of have talked about some of the things that you're doing. What else is going on here, if anything? What are you bringing anything to help you with the mission? Are there any particular plans that you're doing? Any favors you're calling in to do this, or is it just you guys are just going to drive out there and figure out what's going on?
I paid you like 1,000,000,000 times.
I'm just gonna make sure I modify like maybe the tires or something to be able to withstand sand.
Okay, I like that. There are specific sand tires. Okay, cool. So that'll be an additional die. Anything else for your engagement roll?
I'd like to have a gossip with some of the just the normal people of the shelter. They're not council members, and see if any of them know anything about the place.
Sure. Okay, cool. Go ahead and so you find a random person in a green and yellow jumpsuit. Just a woman with brown hair and freckles, and she looks at you. She's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
We're actually just heading out on a little bit of a journey out to the dunes, actually, to look for some hospitable. Is that a word? Hospitable places. I was just wondering if you or someone you might know have ever been there,
Oh,
so you'll know what we're looking at.
Let's see here. The sheltered probably are, I mean, that's the reason they have their name. They don't go out a ton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 2d6.
I might hear stories.
Okay, I'll roll 1d6. That's a good idea. And then we'll just go with our normal standards of success to find out what happens.
Okay.
Prankster, dude, come on. Why do you hate me today?
It looks at you and is just like, I'm so sorry. I know nothing but the shelter. The shelter is life. The shelter keeps us safe. The shelter is life. The shelter keeps us safe.
Yeah.
The shelter is life.
Bye.
And then she just kind of like keeps repeating that as she walks away.
The shelter is life.
Guys, I think they're a cult.
You think?
Blessed be Odd, the great white being in the sky, who only hides us from his face once per month, slowly but surely revealing himself day after day until disappearing and then reappearing.
Okay.
You hear like a preacher off to the side. He answers all of your prayers when his face is fully revealed. And lo,
You know, I'm starting to like this odd guy.
and lo, when his face is red, you should quake in fear for what Odd will bring to this world.
Hearing that, can I mean, it would be rolling 2 and taking the lowest one. Can I make like a trek roll and try and
No,
see
you're
if
back
I
on.
know what kind of... Oh, I'm fine. Oh,
yeah,
sick.
you're fine.
Okay, in that case, I will roll a d6 to try and figure out, does Ash know what kind of moon is tonight?
Oh my gosh, I like that. Go ahead and...
Because if it is a red moon, that might freak her out a little bit and say, let's go tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I like it. I just improv that for
Damn.
fun, but yeah, and it is a crescent moon. And lo, he hides his face from us just barely, whispering from
thought
the
we had-
darkness.
But is it a waning crescent or a waxing crescent?
Lo, it wanes before our eyes. Disappearing every day more from view. That's a
Thanks for
waning
rolling
moon,
along
right?
with that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, you hear the preacher kind of going off, and every now and then people are like, "Amen," and eventually they're like, "Let's rise for a hymn," and then it's amazing art up in the sky, who
I think I might join these guys.
shines so bright on thee. And so they just kind of keep going off on this song.
You and I have
And so we
Hey,
stick around to listen to the rest of it.
I got a question. Why
So
don't we
the-
live here?
Why don't we live here? Because you're not one of us.
Okay, thank God.
Plus, it would really break the game.
One of us.
One of us.
Ooh, okay, I have a fun. Don't mind me, I'm just rolling a d6.
Okay. What is
Okay.
it? What can you tell me what the d6 meant?
So I was using the 1 through 3 fail, 4 through 6 was a quote success, like a luck check, I guess.
Mhm.
Yep.
In the night that Ash was found, because I have like the backstory, she doesn't remember her actual name because she's been lying so much. But the night that she was found by a guy she later betrayed, with a 3, turns out that was a because it's not a 1, it wasn't a blood moon, but that was a new moon.
Oh, that's what you had it. Okay. So it says on a new moon. All right. That's interesting. Keep that in mind.
The moon hide in his damn face.
So are you trying to say that Ash is connected to the sheltered?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
just thought it'd be fun.
We'll figure it out. There's lots of other things going on. All right. So any other things going on, or should we proceed?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. So then, with that said, we will pro-sizzle. So, what is
How
this?
much more do you want to do tonight, Irish?
I'm getting pretty sleepy, not gonna lie.
So, because I like to leave on a cliffy, here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll the engagement and kind of get the start so you can get a taste of what the next one is like. And then we'll roll right into it the next time we play. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
So, my head is itchy. I banged it the other day. And,
no.
yeah, I felt like a dunce. It was for our, anyway, that's a whole other story. I'm going to keep us on track. All right, you trick out the vehicle, and I imagine it is this kind of like scene of like putting on new tires and so on and so forth. Ash doing her best to kind of like gin up information, can't really find anything, but you have the coordinates. So you have your form of transport, and you start off with a die, so that's 2 die. And then stuff's going down that you're not really aware of. So this engagement roll is going to be a lot different than the other one. It is going to be 1 die to determine your starting kind of like place. Are you in a desperate position? Are you in a risky position? Or are you in a controlled position when you start? Irish, actually, Aya, why don't you go ahead and be the one to roll it? Because these other 2 rolled something, so I want to give you an opportunity to roll as well. Also, if I
sound like a good idea.
If I let Outlaw roll it, she will probably roll under a 4. So
That's true. And if Prankster rolls it, if he thinks about me, it will be a 1.
It'll be
Hey,
it's true.
I got a 1 earlier on
I
the
believe in
roll
you.
where it was like
Can I
anything
have-
but a 1.
Can I have Irish roll it? She's been rolling rocks today.
Yeah, but on job, she rolls nothing but 1s and 2s.
Right, yeah, that's true.
That's
Oh
true.
my
And then I'll
God.
do it.
She just sniped you.
So I've got to know.
You're luck today.
I'm gonna
You
not.
just have to look at these rolls. 1,
look.
3, 3, 1. You got a 5 and a 4. Then there was the 2 6s from the heel, and there's the 3, 1, 2. It's mostly been. I feel like it's mostly been fails unless it's been for Irish. So this is a fail. So you guys are in a desperate position. So what does this look like? First off, let me change up the audio to give us a good taste of what's going on. Let's go ahead and do, here we go. Rusty Gears of War. That sounds like a great one. We'll see how that one sounds.
I'm a murderer.
You guys are on your way towards the Mazo building, which you've been told about, into the dunes. And as you are going, it's just like one bad thing after another. First off, the sand tires that Iris thought would work
God.
were not super functional, so it's going really slow. They're not sand tires in the traditional sense. They're ones that she kind of tried to make to help with the sand, and they're not super functional. Second thing is you forgot to check the gas, and so you're really low by the time that you get out there. Third thing is you draw near the Mazo building and finally come to, and I imagine there might be some bickering in the car as all of this is going on. You out of the corner of your eye see somebody in the building that has seen you, and they go, and as that happens,
Chewbacca.
as it happens, there would appear to be like 6 people that were in the sand that you just didn't see, that like stand up as you guys get close, all armed with spears as they're pointing it at the car. You guys are starting off in a desperate position on this run, and that is where we will leave off for the next time.
It was fun playing Ash while she was alive.
Great.
Okay. All right, y'all. I hope you had fun. I did.
Yeah, that was really fun. Uh-huh.
No, it was great. No, I didn't. Have fun.
I love terrorizing you. What can I say?
Yeah,
It's just a good
this
time.
is why I mean back, because this shit happens.
What happens?
All of this.
You mean all of the friends you've developed along the
All
way, like
friends
the
we've made
shelter?
along the way, yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. We might be able to talk our ways out. Well, you guys might be able to talk your way
Yeah,
out.
there are multiple opportunities to get things going on. Well, friends, for those of you who've been following us for the duration of this, we are actually going to go ahead and close up shop. That'll be our stream for today. So thank you very much for joining. We leave off on a nice little cliffy. And from there, we are going to go ahead and close it. Everybody, go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll go from there.
Why?
Hi.
Can't believe you rolled a 1.
We
Well,
rolled good.
You know what? Maybe all your bad rolls got out this session so that all of your good
Let's
rolls
hope
can
so.
happen on the next session. That's
I
how
hope so.
that's how it works,
Blind
right?
ignorance, I'm gonna believe you.
All
Yeah.
the sixes.
Nothing but 6s. Let's go.
Nothing but 6s, nothing but good times ahead. Nothing but great times.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, those rolls are really bad today.
Or at
Those
least
rolls are
get
really
horribly
bad.
maimed.
You know what? That's the name of the game. It's the name of the game.
Is it?
And to
I thought it
have
was Glow in the
fun.
dark.
No, it is. Well, I mean, yeah. It's to survive the post-apocalyptics and only get slightly
rough.
maimed.
We're trying.
Really rough.
We're trying our hardest.
You know what though? You guys are doing well. And like, hey, you're doing it. You're doing it.
It is really fun. As brutal as it is, it's really fun.
I'm glad you're
Because you just
enjoying
use any benefit you can get.
I'm so glad I mooned the moonrise. The night rider.
I am as well. The whole thing was so funny.
That was good.
They're absolutely gonna come down and say, "You sent us into a death trap." And I'm like, yeah,
Worth it.
yeah. What's your point, bitch?
it.